We about to make a movie. Ooh-wee!
People of the internet, welcome to the R.E.B.E.L podcast. As always, my name is Ari Grove, ARI.GROVE. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, wherever the internet is. That's where I will be. Today I have with me
Nate Golden.
So where are you from?
I'm here from Portland, Oregon. Yep, right here.
Awesome. So were you born and raised here or moved here?
Yeah, I was born here and then raised up in Northeast. So literally in like the heart of Portland. So
So have you gotten the opportunity to live anywhere else or travel anywhere else?
I currently live in North Portland, and I've like traveled a lot, but never lived nowhere else though. I want to do that. I want to live somewhere else for like 6 months or something.
If you had to pick a place, where'd you go?
Somewhere like out the country, like Southeast Asia. I'm actually like looking at doing that right now. But
Hey, that's awesome.
yeah.
It's not a bad time to be doing it.
Yeah, for sure.
So what did your travels once you got back to Portland? What was that new perspective that you got on it?
A new respect. Every single place that I've been to places outside of the country. Every single time I get back, I'm just like, that's why I love Portland. Like, okay, because when you stay in the same place, you're always just thinking like, I have to get out of here. And you're not really paying attention to the little things. But there are so many, to me, like little things about Portland that you don't get in California. You don't get in like Jamaica, or you don't get in Mexico, or wherever you're traveling to these beautiful places. There's the little things, and I think it kind of comes from because of growing up there.
So what's like an example of one of those things that you like about Portland?
I noticed that when I go to places that are like really beautiful and hot, like California and stuff, I miss like rain and like like going outside after it just rained, like the fresh air smelling, and not always just feeling kind of like hot and stagnant. Like weather is a big thing that I now respect. Like we do actually get all 4 seasons.
Yeah, that's how you know you're a true Oregonian. You love the rain. That's like the benchmark for me of like someone that's an actual true Oregonian.
For
Is like how
sure.
much do they love the rain?
Because there's not very many places where you're going to get a lot of rain, or it's either like all rain and you're not really getting like a real fall or like a real winter.
Yeah.
Like Oregon is one of the places, or Portland's one of the places where like you do get a piece of all 4.
Yeah.
And I've been to like California and there for like a long period of time and been just like, wow, when's it gonna rain?
It's like, no, they in a drought. They're trying to do the rain dance out there. Yeah. But so I believe you're in like the media, right? Like, what do you entertainment wise do?
I'm a musician. I'm an
Musician?
artist. Yeah.
What kind of music do you play?
Like rap, R&B mix up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I sing a little bit, I rap a little bit.
What you prefer to do?
That's a hard question because I wouldn't say I'm the best singer, but I'm also not the best rapper. So, like, I'm not really great at either. So it kind of just depends on whatever I'm singing or rapping to pulls out.
So when did you first get involved in all that?
Like, actually get involved, I put my first song out, I think, like, 3 years ago now. Which that's kind of nuts. Yeah, just like 3 years ago. But I've been like writing and like making beats and stuff myself. Making beats since at least like 6th grade, and then writing since like freshman year in high school. Like I have journals of a lot of shit that no one is ever going to hear because it is so bad.
Oh yeah, the years that are just straight ass.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
you gotta have them. Anybody that says they never had any of those is just straight up lying. You know, like it's just like, come on now, really?
Yep. Because even if it's something you didn't write down, like people that just kind of like freestyle and don't write their stuff down,
Yeah.
you thought of some whack stuff when you were first thinking of stuff. Like there's no way that everything that came out was just like, wow, that's hot. Like you thought of some whack shit. Yeah, you thought about some whack shit before you got to the good shit.
Yeah. No, absolutely. So early home life, like how many parental figures do you have in the house?
I have 2, my mom and my dad. I was adopted. I'm a big adopted family. So I was adopted when I was about 3 years old, but I have what, 6 or 7 brothers and sisters, and we're all also adopted.
That's awesome.
A lot of kids, 2 parents.
So did that give you like a slight of like a cultural disconnect between?
Not
Between
really. My dad is black and my mom is white, but we do things with my dad's side of the family more. So there was never really missing like the black culture at all, because that was still what I was raised with, even though my mom is white, but her family is for the most part in like California and kind of like scattered throughout Oregon. So we do most of the family stuff like Thanksgiving and Christmas with my dad's side of the family.
Do you ever have a wish to know your parents?
I know them.
The birth one? Oh, you do?
I know both of them. I met my mom when I was 18, and I met my dad like when I was 19 or 20.
What was meeting them like?
Insane. My mom was the craziest story you will like ever hear about, like an adopted child meeting their birth parents. Like we were at a Super Bowl party at my aunt's house from my dad's side, and one of my little cousins was there, and she brought her friend, and so her friend is like talking to us and like getting to know us, because she did not know us at all. And so start getting into like, oh, when is your birthday? And my little sister, who is actually my half sister, so she's also related to me biologically, but she's like, oh, how old are you? And she's like, oh, I'm whatever. She was like 16 at the time. He's like, oh, when's your birthday? And she's like, oh, October 15th. And then my cousin's friend began to be like, okay, so this is gonna sound insane, but I'm pretty sure that I am your biological cousin. And we're just like, yo, what are you talking about? She's like, and then she's like, are you adopted? And we were like, yeah, we're adopted. And you're like, what was your name before you were adopted? And my little sister said it, and she's like, yeah, we are actually like biological cousins. And if you want, I can call your mom right now, and y'all can talk to her. So
Shit.
we're literally at a Super Bowl party, like in the middle of the Super Bowl. The game is like third quarter, and my sister's like, yo, Nate, come to the phone. Like, it's our biological mom on the phone right now. And so that was the first time talking to her, and then I think we met in person like a couple weeks later.
Damn. Yeah, that's a head trip. That's...
I don't even remember who was playing in Super Bowl anymore. Like, the whole game is now out of my head.
No, she was Peyton Manning now.
Yeah, because now I'm like, whoa. I just remember it was a Super Bowl party. But it was a crazy experience. And then my dad, meeting him, my mom had just told him, my biological mom told him that she had found us and knew who we were. And so he messaged me on Instagram for a little bit. And I won't lie, I didn't respond for a little bit, because I was still trying to like figure out just meeting my biological mom.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't really know if I can do both at the same time. So then I hit him up like maybe like 7-8 months later. And I found out from him that I have 2 little brothers, 2 half brothers in Texas.
Wow.
That I've actually gone out there to meet. And yeah, it's been super crazy. But
what was that like emotional tug, like meeting your biological parents? Like, was there a rift that was in your heart, or what was?
Nah, I wouldn't. Nah, my mom told me the story of why I was put up for adoption and everything. So I mean, I didn't have any real like feelings about it, like negative feelings at least. I was just like, it couldn't happen in that situation, so it's happening, and I'm being raised in this situation. And I knew that it wasn't that they wanted to give me up, so never any bad thoughts, but it was definitely weird because I was also 18, so I'm like, I'm kind of my own person now, and I've been raised by by a mom and come up, and my biological mom kind of still wanted to be a mother figure, but at that time I don't really need a mother figure because I'm 18 years old.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like trying to not distance myself, but
You gotta
trying to
form your
like
own
make
path.
my own self
Yeah.
from my parental figures and not have so much parental figure. So like, yeah.
So this is something that's always bothered me. I don't know if this might be an issue with you, but I've seen a lot of people adopt and then sort of like trump those adopted children like they did, God, this is... Okay, so I'll give the example. So I used to be I used to be Christian, right? And I was a part of this church, and the white pastor went to Africa and adopted like an African child. And then when he got back, he did an entire sermon solely on the kid that he adopted. And sort of like, raising himself up to be some sort of, like white savior or something like that. And that particularly bothered me because it sort of dehumanized the child. And I don't know, like, if you've ever come across anything like that, and what are your feelings?
I agree with you 110% on that. But I will say that is not my parents at all.
That's amazing. Well, that's great.
Like, not even in the slightest is it to be like, look what I did. It was like, I can't even explain to you why two people would want to adopt 7 children. But my parents did. I myself, I don't think I could do that. But my parents, it's never anything like that. They're just amazing people and amazing parents.
Well, that's great to hear because that I don't know that kind of stuff strikes a particularly bad chord with me. It's like kids shouldn't be like I don't know. Yeah, I got a soft spot for like the kids. You know what I mean? Like It's so corny, but I'm a corny motherfucker. It's just how it be.
Yeah.
But what are your feelings behind this whole like new resurgence of Black Lives Matter importance in our culture?
For me, it is not really a resurgence. It's kind of like it just got bigger. Like, which I feel like every single time something happens where there are a bunch of protests, like each time it happens, it just keeps getting bigger for me at least, because because I'm a black man, so I'm kind of always a part of Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
But here in Portland, it's just gotten bigger. Like, it's always been there.
Yeah.
Because for however long, this has been happening. So the Black Lives Matter has always been there, but every single time something happens, it just gets bigger, and it gets bigger, and it gets bigger, because we're like trying to be like, hey, do you see this? This is not okay. And then it happens again, and we're like, okay, maybe we have to be a little bit bigger with our, hey, do you see us? And until you get to now, where I don't even really think this is the pinnacle of where it could get. But at this point, this is the highest level of Black Lives Matter, of the black community, of everyone that is with the black community being like, hey, you are going to see us now. Not, hey, asking, do you see us? It's, you are going to see us because we're going to make you see us. So for me, as a black man, it's not really a resurgence. It's just another level of the movement, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it was definitely bad phrasing on my part. But
No. I get it. I'm always the person that's maybe if, the Black Lives Matter movement is kind of only a movement for a person when it's really, really big at that time. It's understandable because, like, I can't really expect someone who isn't also black to be really paying attention to it when it's not the big thing, because you're not looking for it outside of your your zone.
Yeah, outside the
and you
bubble.
may have blinders on it in your zone, but really the point is to try and take those blinders off of people in their zones and around their zones, because it has been happening this whole time, and some people may have just been blind to it. And so I think the part of the big point of this Black Lives Matter movement is to take those blinders off 24/7 and to say, hey, I know it's been a month that we've been protesting, but keep those blinders off. You can't, don't turn them off. Do not turn them off. You keep them on and you keep looking, because we have to live what you're looking at.
Yeah, and I said it that way too, because that's kind of how popular culture sees it. Because, like you're saying, it's easy to just stay within your one little bubble. But posing a hypothetical question, if you could change one thing about the country permanently, what would you change?
Change one thing about the country.
Whether it's a policy or a viewpoint, like...
I don't know, because I don't think that there really is. I can't really think of like a one thing that you could change that could really fix like a vast majority of the things. I mean, like, the closest you could get is wishing for everyone to be on the same very high level of understanding of everybody, of just everybody. So, like, it's easy right now for a white person or something to not exactly not understand why black people are still upset about, like, the biggest toss there is white people saying, why are you still mad about slavery? Like, obviously the black people that are living now are aware that slavery has been abolished and that we are currently not slaves. Well, depending on how you want to look at it, we are currently not slaves. We are not owned. So why are we mad because that's over? We fixed that. But it's easy to not understand that you fixed that, but then you just found something else to put right there. Instead of slavery, you put all these laws and policies in the way. So slavery's gone.
But now there's Jim Crow.
But now, now there's Jim Crow. Now there's a whole another block. And then we get rid of that, and then there's another block. And then it's not even a block. It's just like, we'll just kill you and nothing happens. And we're fine. We get to go about living our life. And there is no repercussions. We are going to also just kind of pretend like we don't see it. And it's easy to not understand that is what we keep going through when you are not going through that. When you come in and it's like, I can be stopped by a cop on a routine traffic stop and feel great about myself and be like, dang, I sped. But like, if a person of color gets stopped at a traffic light, it doesn't... I know people are always like, not every single cop is bad, and, but there's that back of the mind worry that this might be the bad one. Mm-hmm. So why I know a lot of cops are always just like, not all of us are bad. So like, why are you like cowering from all of us, and why are you treating all of us like the bad cops? And it's because we don't know who the bad ones are, and it seems as though you don't know who the bad ones are either until something bad happens. But then even when something bad happens, you just turn your head like it didn't happen. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a great, example of the point. That's not the full phrase, a few bad apples. It's like a few bad apples taint the whole barrel.
Exactly.
But are these, is what you're talking about any of the messages that go into your music?
It's a message that went into the last song that I just put up. It's called Riot. But other than that, before, I was never really, not political or anything. I just talked about, I don't even know, just like things that are more, I wouldn't say more relevant in my life, but were like happening for me in my life, like stories, as opposed to, trying to spread not like a political per se message, but like spreading that kind of message.
Yeah.
So until this last song that I just put out, all of my songs have kind of just been like stories or just something that I thought of in my head.
Do you think that would be a thread that would continue for you, or?
I mean, I definitely might sprinkle some in every now and then, but I don't think that that's really like the direction that I would personally want to go with my music of like, kind of only talk. Because I'm also, I mean, obviously with practice, there's perfection, or with practice, you get better, but I'm not really good at talking about the political stuff. But for me, when it's something that's kind of like this blatant to me and something that I do truly have so many feelings on, it was pretty easy to like sit down and write a song
Yeah.
about things that are going on. But normally I don't know, maybe it's normally I try not to think about that kind of stuff. I do find myself doing that. Normally I try not to think about a lot of the stuff that's going on because a lot of it is negative, and shining a light on negative things is positive, but sometimes you kind of gotta make a positive so that people aren't kind of always getting the negative. So I'll say I'm the little splash of positive after you go listen to like Cole and get the real like deep stuff that really makes you think about everything that's going on. I'm like the, hey, like you can laugh and joke around and chill out over here, and then maybe I'll give you a few of the songs that really make you like think on a different level and really like understand something that's happening at the current time.
Yeah. So are you working on anything currently?
Right now, I actually like 2 days ago just finally got the last song in for another EP that I'm gonna put out, and now it's just right now deciding when I'm gonna put that out. Cause with everything going on, there's multiple things coming at me, so it's there's a sense of, as a black creator, I should put something out because we need to be paying a little bit more attention to black art and black politics and just everything that's happening in the black community. But at the same time, I don't want to feel like I'm like using this time to be like, hey, here's my art, while like all black art is like super popping right now.
Yeah, you don't want to be exploitative.
Yeah. So it's just kind of a matter of figuring out how I want to put it out that it's doesn't feel exploitative to me.
Yeah.
But also, I don't want to feel like I shouldn't say, like, put this out and then post it on my Instagram and under it put Black Lives Matter, because I know it's one of the highest tags right now that everyone's going and looking at. So I might get 10,000 more people to come and look at it because I put that underneath my post. Like, yeah.
And that's the thing that's always been like a little bit hard for me to believe, is when people that haven't really spoken on the movement at all or been about it, like suddenly they're posting all this Black Lives Matter stuff, and it seems like a lot of like in that particular instance is for attention.
Yeah.
And it's that double-edged sword that it's, I'm glad the more people are visiting it, and I'm glad that at least it's a current topic for you that you're thinking about it, but, maybe put that energy towards, sustaining.
I will say it does depend on who we're talking about with that. Because if we're talking about, I don't know, just any kind of, like a black celebrity that maybe hasn't been, always kind of preaching or like speaking on like a Black Lives Matter or something, and they're posting a whole lot about it now, it's a little different than like a not person of color. Like, now all of their content is like Black Lives Matter, and it's like obviously, like, thank you for the support, but like there's a point where it becomes you're using this huge movement, or you're using this as a time to like keep yourself in the conversation and keep yourself popping, or like get yourself popping. Like, there's a difference.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's a lot of people that I really like what they're doing. Like, there's a few celebrities out there that are white celebrities that are every single day they give their Instagram like to a black leader or to an African American person, so that they can have that person's audience.
Yeah, and it's like the difference between exploitation and elevation.
Exactly.
So, thank you for being on the podcast. It's definitely been a good conversation. I've enjoyed it a lot. As always, my name is Ari Grove, ARI.GROVE. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. Just put out a new album called Ignorance. You can find that on Spotify, Apple Music, or wherever you choose to listen to music. Where can we find you?
My name is Nate Golden, and you can find me on all social media just at the Nate_Golden. And you can find all my music on all the major streaming platforms. Just put a song out called Riot about things that are happening right now, so go check that out.
Awesome. Thank you.
Cool.
Sweet.